telling me that it's going. Recording has started, right? Okay, that's good. Right, good morning, everyone. Belatedly, I'm Steve Bennett. I'm the idiot that started Sparta 7 years ago. It's gone from strength to strength as a company. We've now got like 550 brokers around the country using us, which is fabulous news with support from guys like yourselves. We've got 50 plus products on the system across 4 ranges. I know you guys mainly focus on tool guard, but we've got products in the motor range, the excess protection range, we've got personal legal, and we've got a commercial range as well. So all of those products, you know, are well worth looking at. We'll be doing a lot more mail shotting. Become a nuisance, but enough to perhaps inform people a little bit. Just to introduce Michael to you, Michael Gillespie. He's one of you guys. He's a Derry boy. It is Derry, isn't it, Michael?
It is, yeah. Family's all from Derry, yeah. So
he's over your neck of the woods a lot, 'cause his family are all over there. Michael's advantage, from my point of view personally, is that he spent his whole life working as an insurance broker. So we pinched him from your world to come and work for us. And Michael deals with all the day-to-day inquiries, really, isn't it? Michael's our head of operations, and he deals with all of our operational inquiries that come through. So he's likely to be the guy that you'd speak to if you have an operational issue on a daily basis. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is tool guard. Thankfully, the system's working now. The last session we had to cancel because I was having technological problems at my end. But Michael's going to advance the pages for me. So if you imagine I'm Boris Johnson and he's Chris Whitty, I shall be just saying, go on, Chris, advance the slide. So Chris, if you wouldn't mind advancing the slide, and if you can. Find the page. There you go. Okay, so tool guard, that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, you can jump forward again.
Can I just check you can all see this?
Yeah, stick your thumb up where we can see the camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
brilliant. Thank you, Lynn.
Right, okay. Next slide then, please, Mr. That's it. Okay, just to give you a few facts and figures about the tool guard trade. Of those who had the tools stolen, 32% of those victims said that they'd not received any form of financial compensation for the loss. So that tells us the size of the marketplace. 32% of people have no form of cover at all. More than £46 million worth of tools were reported stolen from vehicles in the last 6 months. Well, although that figure is dated 2021, we've checked it, and the figure hasn't gone down. It's the same in the preceding 6 months. Over a quarter of van drivers have had the tools stolen in the last 12 months. An estimated 2.8 billion worth of tools stolen from tradespeople. Self-employed people, obviously, are the ones who suffer the most. On average, 384,000 cars are written off every year, 1,000 every day, 1 every 90 seconds. Tools as a product remain a daily headache. And a new report recently revealed that 4 in 5 tradespeople have experienced some form of tools theft. I will send you this presentation afterwards, because it's got links in there to all of these articles if you're interested in finding out a little bit more. Okay, next slide, please, Mr. Whitty. Okay, so which areas suffer the most? Well, this is a national picture. Northern Ireland only suffered like 221 tools theft, but this is useful for you guys because I understand that you don't just insure people in Northern Ireland, you insure people on the mainland as well. So you can see where the bulk of the thefts occur. Not surprisingly, it's in London. The northwest, the north gets a bit of a hammering. Northwest and Yorkshire, the West Midlands, which is obviously where we're from, we're 4th on the list. And as you can see, the whole of England has a bit of a battering, but there's 28,691. That's going back to 2019. As we understand it, the numbers are still relatively the same in terms of the percentage wise, but the numbers have actually gone up. So there's far more than 28,000 thefts now. Okay, Michael. Tool theft. Well, again, I'll send you this. This is for any customers that you insure in the capital. This is the people who sustain the, the most hits, if you like, or the most thefts. Barnet, Enfield, Ealing. Those are the areas that cop it most. The posher areas, Kingston upon Thames, Kensington and Chelsea. You don't find many tradespeople leaving the vans lying around there. But as I say, it's where the van, as we'll get to in a minute, it's where the van is parked and under what circumstances that encourages the tool theft. Thanks, Michael. So which trades suffer the most? Roofers are the ones that suffer the most. The reason has been explained to us. It's because a lot of the roofing materials are actually stored either on the side of the van or on the top of the van. So it's easier for the things like ladders to be stolen. Electricians come next, obviously, because it's the value of their tools and the reusability of their tools. Plumbers, carpenters, builders. You can see who's copying it the most. Doesn't seem that people who are fitting flooring and doing wallpapering and painting, their stuff doesn't get nicked very much. Okay, Michael, which days suffer the most? Interestingly, midweek days, Thursdays seem to be the biggest hit. As you would expect, Saturdays and Sundays are the quietest days. But again, these are the days when you see most thefts. Again, all of this is just background information. I won't press this link, but Jeremy Vine, who has a Radio 2 show, he did an article all about the epidemic of tools theft, if you like, and he had tradespeople on the telephone speaking on the air, talking about how many instances had actually occurred. And again, it's still prevalent now. There was a guy that was on this. If you click on the link when I send you it and listen to the show, there's a guy on the link who set up an association for tradespeople to report their tools theft in the hope that there's a better chance of recovering them. The reality of the situation is the majority of tools that are stolen just don't get recovered. Okay, Michael? I say so tool guide, what does it cover? It covers losing or damaging your tools. Obviously, from a tradesperson's point of view, the tools of their trade, determines whether they can earn a living or not. So it can have a serious financial effect on their ability to earn. Tool Guide from Sparta brings peace of mind when tools or equipment are lost, damaged or stolen whilst in the transit or parked overnight, and the product compensates the insured so that it can continue with his business. The overnight cover extends to the driveway, on the road within the view of the householder, and hotel car parks when working away from home, and it extends even further than that now. As a result of brokers coming to us, brokers said, well, we get a lot of tradespeople. It used to be restricted that they were only covered between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. when the vehicle was parked on their driveway or on a hotel car park. But brokers came back to us and said, well, increasingly now, tradespeople are actually performing jobs between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. at customers' premises. So we need to have that cover in place. So the product has now been improved to provide that enhanced cover. As far as we're aware, there's no other tools product out there that covers tradespeople for the hours between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. while working on customers' premises. Bit of background, Tool Guide is arranged by Sparta and Supercover. It's underwritten by West Bay Insurance, and Sparta are an appointed representative of Novitas Underwriting Agency. Okay, so tools in transit and on the driveway, losing or damaging, as we say, can have a damage in their ability to earn. Overnight cover. Okay, Michael, you can skip past this one because it's a repeat slide, I think. Right, so what cover is provided? If the tools are stolen, destroyed or damaged whilst in the motor vehicle, we will replace them. Now, I'll use the word motor vehicle It's not just vans. If they put the tools in the boot of a car, it's treated in exactly the same way, providing the tools are not on view, providing they're out of sight. If they're stolen, destroyed, or damaged during loading or unloading from the vehicle, then the policy will replace them. If the tools are stolen when fixed down and locked away at the place of work, or stolen when fixed down and locked away from an area within the business premises to which you're working at the time, we'll replace them. Right, okay, I'll say that in English. Or Irish. We get told that tradesmen will quite often leave their tools at the customer's place of work overnight, because the customer will say, "We'll leave them here." That's fine, provided they're kept in a locked cabinet overnight. So if somebody breaks into the customer's premises and the insured's tools are just lying around and they get stolen, the likelihood is they wouldn't be covered, because they're not locked away. They have to be locked away as if they were locked in his vehicle. So what they're trying to do is replicate the security level, if you like, that the insured would have if it was locked in his own vehicle. We'll insure the tools up to a maximum indemnity value found in the schedule of insurance. We'll talk about the values in a minute. And we can either provide replacement tools in transit in the event of a claim, or at the insurer's discretion, financially reimburse them for the value of the tools. And the cover is limited to 2 claims in any 12-month period. Okay, so we're talking about cover levels now. 500,000, 2,500, 5,000, 7,500, 10,000. Obviously, £500 is for the very the much smaller tradesperson. The most common one we sell is 5,000 across a year. We sell more of that than anything else, but obviously they can go up to £10,000. Cover extends to incidents occurring in Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So it's, again, Michael probably explains this better than me, but if you've got a tradesperson that's based in the north, but he's got a job in the south at a customer, if he's at the customer's premises and the tools get stolen in the south, he's covered. Is that right, Michael? Isn't it? Yeah. So that was a specific, again, as a result of us having some Irish brokers, a specific request from you guys asking us to extend it. So that's what we did. Motor and liability policies are supported, and the claims line is a 24/7 claims service. So what we won't cover is obviously the excesses. If the sum insured is up to £1,000, it's £150 excess, £5,000, £250, £10,000, £300. But obviously, if you've got £10,000 worth of tool cover, I don't think you're going to worry too much about a £300 excess. So the security requirements then. Now this reads quite negatively, but I'll go over it. It's just the way the wording is. But if the tools in transit are left unattended, we will not accept any claim for theft from a motor vehicle unless the tools in transit have been concealed in a locked boot or cargo hold or other locked internal compartment, and all the vehicle's windows and doors have been securely locked and fastened, and the keys. It's all obvious stuff, really. No point having the tools in the van if you're going to leave the door open, wide open, for thieves to see it. It's common sense stuff. And unattached trailers have got anti-hitching devices put into operation. Any additional security measure must also be implemented. So if under the primary insurance policy, the primary insurance states that the vehicle must have an alarm fitted, the alarm must be set and running. Point B covers what we talked about earlier. From building or premises, unless it's your place of work or you're working in that building or on those premises at the time of the theft, and unless your tools in transit are fixed down and locked away in an area agreed between you and the business owner. So that just restates what we said earlier on. We're working for a customer, must be locked in a cabinet somewhere. And unless forcible and violent means have been used to gain access or entry to the motor vehicle or building or premises, evidence of which must be submitted with the claim. A photograph is good enough. A phone photograph is good enough there. Again, where claims have been repudiated in the past is where, an example that we said earlier on, the guy's left his tools in the van, but he's left the door open with everything, wide open with the tools on view. Well, there's no forcible no forcible entry being gained. So, you know, a claim would be repudiated under those circumstances. So we'll not accept any claim for tools, theft of tools in transit from your vehicle overnight between 10 to 6 a.m. unless the security requirements that we've just been mentioned have been met, and unless the vehicle is A, parked in an area secured by a lock gate. So it might be they might leave their vehicle parked at the company premises behind a lock gate, or if they've got on their own, if they're fortunate enough to have gates on their own house that they can lock, or it's parked in a locked and secure garage. Those are the most secure ways of parking them, but the most common way is parked in your off-road driveway next to your private home, or parked in the car park within the hotel, motel premises at which you are staying for work premises. So just cover points C and D briefly there. Parked in your off-road driveway. Although it doesn't say it on these training notes, the insurer will also accept them parking it within view of their house. So if they've got two cars already on the drive, or somebody's, you know, the drive's already full and they want to park it on the road outside the house, that's fine. What the insurer is trying to discourage is tradespeople parking their van up a dark alleyway out of view of their house, because that's obviously a target for thieves. Parked in the car park within the hotel motel premises at which you're staying for work purposes. So again, if they're stopping at a hotel overnight, if the car's parked on the hotel car park, they're covered. And if these conditions cannot be met, must be parked in a well-lit area on the same street as the private home or hotel premises. And the motor vehicle must be visible from either the private home or the hotel where you're staying. Okay, claims, well, straightforward. Won't bother going into all the details, but there's a Davies Group telephone number on there who deal with the claims, and they must report the theft to the police within 48 hours and obtain a crime reference number. Pay the excess fee, whichever one applies, and provide us with details of the claim of any other contract, guarantee, warranty, or insurance that may apply to the theft, but not limited to household insurance. So if they've got other cover for the tools, they've got to provide that cover information to the claims team. Provide a copy of purchase receipts. Sorry, Michael. And provide evidence of forced entry. Okay, and then, okay, Michael. That's it. Any questions? I'm sure there's a point I've left out, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, hang on. You got a question? Did you see a question crop up there, Michael? Popped up and then I've lost it.
Matty, he won't have any. He doesn't have any sound or anything in his PC, so I think he put something in the chat there.
All right.
If a client, he's asked if a client just has internal shelving in the back of the van, is that not covered if it's not in a separate locked?
The shelf, anything. Okay, that I'm glad he's asked me that question, because he's just reminded me of the thing that I've forgotten. The items must not be fixed to the vehicle, so the shelving itself wouldn't be covered, but the items on the shelves would. Now, what this throws up is the example of, you know, these guys that do mobile window cleaning, and they have the water pressure pump fitted in the back of the vehicle.
Yeah.
If that was, and they have it bolted into the vehicle, if the thief comes along, breaks into the van and takes the water pressure machine, that wouldn't be covered because it's fitted to the vehicle. So it's tools that are carried loose in the vehicle. That's what it's intended to cover.
So it's okay as long as if he stores his tools in the back of his van, the van is locked and they're on shelves, the tools themselves are covered as long as they're not fixed to the vehicle.
Yes. So the tools are covered, but if the thief stole the shelves as well, the shelves wouldn't be covered, unfortunately. So how strict are we with receipts? Well, the insurers are quite strict with receipts, to be fair. The thing that we always say, and this is something that when we're selling a tools policy, brokers always say to us, well, customers should really, under their accounting regulations, keep their receipts for up to 6 years. But what we're looking at here is it depends on the value of the tool. The likelihood is if they've got an electrical item, an electrical tool that's worth £200, £300, £400, £500, the likelihood is they'll have the receipt for that. What they might not have is the tool for that old hammer that they've had for about 10 years and a set of spanners, or whatever, you know. But if you were a mechanic, for example, and you got a snap-on set of tools, you know, those tools cost a couple of £1,000. So the likelihood is they would have receipts for those. So the thing is, at the end of the day, when you're selling this policy, it's always wise to advise the client, collect all your tools receipts and keep them safe in the event of a theft. And if you buy any more tools, don't throw your receipts away. They shouldn't anyway, because when they go to their accountant at the end of the year, the accountant will ask for receipts. I mean, we've had customers in the past who don't have a receipt, trying to make a claim with a bank statement. Well, a statement is okay, provided you've actually got proof of purchase. What was the item listed? So if you bought something from, you know, one of the tools retailers, and you've got a tools retail statement from them, not a receipt, that might suffice. But it's really what we're trying to do is we're trying to encourage, because of the prevalence and the increase in tools theft, we're really trying to encourage tradespeople to keep their receipts, for heaven's sake. If you keep your receipts and you've got all the receipts that you need to make the claim, these claims pay out very quickly, you know, because of the urgency, because of the need for the customer to have the compensation to go and buy new tools. So I don't know I don't think we can hear Matthew, but I hope that's answered your question. Okay, guys, is there any?
Yeah, just you had mentioned that there was cover in the Republic of Ireland. It was just the overnight. Does that also applicable if they were staying overnight for a job in regards to the hotel, or, you know,
yes,
sometimes they would work in Dublin or whatever, so that's still
absolutely wherever they're staying, provide. In fact, it would even stretch to, in the unlikely circumstance, if the tradesperson was stopping at a friend's house because it was near to the customer's house overnight, providing he could see the vehicle parked outside the house and it's locked and secured, he would be covered. So, you know, they won't you know, they don't wriggle out on technicalities like that. But definitely hotels, motels, you know, places of accommodation where they're staying, providing they can see the vehicle from where they're staying, they're fine.
Thank you.
They're covered. Okie dokie. So tools is one of those things. I think you're having a bit of a spurge on it at the moment, where you're trying to sell more of it. That's obviously when tradespeople are renewing their basic trades policy, this is the obvious time to offer them a tool guide policy. And having this knowledge in your back pocket about how tools are being stolen. The interesting question, because you guys are face to face with the tradespeople, it's always worth saying to them, have you ever had a tool theft and not reported it? So many people have had incidents and don't report them because the amount is quite minor. You know, they've had a small item stolen, like a saw or a hammer or whatever, you know, or even a drill. But, you know, it's the more expensive items that, you know, that really hurt. You can go and buy a hammer quite easily, can't you? You know, go and buy a spanner from Screwfix or whatever. You know, you might not necessarily have the funds to go and buy, you know, a big piece of electrical equipment. Okay, guys. If there's any other questions, please throw them at us. But if not, what we tend to find happens is that questions crop up when you're speaking to customers, because the customer is the one who's going to throw the low baller at you, isn't he? He's the one who's going to say, what about this? Yes, but what if? If you don't know the answer to the question, just say, right, okay, we'll find out for you. And you can either email Michael or myself, and one of us will come back to you very quickly. Whenever we get inquiries like this, we like to jump on it, because we know a sale can depend on it. So, you know, drop us an email, and we'll come back to you as quickly. Just say it's urgent. Can you come back ASAP? And we'll come back to you as quickly as we can with an answer. But meanwhile, what I'll also do is I'll send you a PDF version of this presentation, so you've got some of the information to hand. And
Thank you.
while by all means, have a search on Google for, you know, tools theft, and you'll see it's still prevalent. It's crazy. It's easy, isn't it? It's easy pickings for the thief. You know, they can go and steal 300 or 400 quid's worth of tools, make a couple of £100 in one go. You know, rotten swines. They ought to be beaten with the hammers that they steal. Thanks ever so lot for your attention, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Been lovely to speak to you, and I hope it's been a pleasant respite from your telephone responsibilities.
Thanks
just
so
a
much,
question in relation to the access protection that you mentioned. Is that for commercial properties, or is that for vehicles?
Vehicles.
Vehicles.
Okay. We have got commercial. We've got a massive range of access protection on our system, and we do access protection for well, a lot of commercial access protection for fleet and that sort of stuff. I think we've got access protection, which is relatively new, for residential properties, haven't we? I don't think we haven't got it for commercial properties yet, have we, Michael?
Not yet, but we have got commercial access for tradesmen, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yes.
So we've got the tradesman access. So
yeah, so your tradesman's liability access, that's an additional product that we've got in the system as well. So if he's got an excess on his liability policy that he has to pay, you can sell him one of our excess protections at the same time. Perhaps next time, Michael, we should build that into the tour guide presentation as an additional
product. Yeah,
as an additional product to think about. Good question.
Would that be online then, Steve? Because we currently do the tools on a border basis.
Yeah, that would be via the platform.
Yeah,
via the platform. Have you all got access to the platform online?
No.
Right, okay. What I'll need to do then is speak to Andrea and say this has been raised as a potential product that would be of interest to you. And then I'll find out how we can get it accessible to you. Because what I can do is I can send Andrea, I think what she did with the tools product, I think she's put it into the policy. She's got the policy wording, she got the IPIDs, she got the rating. So all she does, she sends it to us by a bordereau.
Yeah.
We've just got to repeat the process for tradesman's excess protect. So I'll do that with Andrea after this call.
Okay.
Great question, by the way. Thank you very much. Thanks ever such a lot, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks again. Thank you.
Hope your coffees haven't gone cold.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot. Take care, everyone. Bye bye. Do you want to stay on, Michael?
Yeah, of course do.